Wow, another Friday night, another heater when it comes to the set list. This band's on fire. We'll talk about that and we'll talk about what went down in the pit down in South Jersey. DMB Post Show stream starts now. It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home. What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here. What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, where Sean has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. Philly, what up? Shout out to them Flyers. Shout out to them Sixers. I'm not a Phillies fan or a Eagles fan, though. Westchester, what up? Allentown, what up? Mount Holly, New Jersey, what up? Cherry Hill, New Jersey, what up? Wilmington, Delaware in the building. Shout out to y'all. Willingboro, New Jersey, what up? Trenton, New Jersey, what up? North Philly, what up? Shout out to Temple. My wife went there. Villanova sucks. Let's go Huskies. Go UConn. West Grove, PA, what up? King of Prussia, what up? Norristown, what up? Egg Harbor Township, Jersey, what up? Vineland, Jersey, what up? Shout out to the Delmarva Peninsula, the whole thing. It's not too far from Philly. Beautiful, beautiful. I love the Delmarva Peninsula. Shout out to them. What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Thank you guys for joining the stream. Princeton, New Jersey, they all right over there. We do have moderators now. I will say this: the personal attacks against people and their family. Let's keep the mothers out of this, for real. Let's keep the mothers out of this. Let's keep the girlfriends, boyfriend, whatever, side chicks. Let's keep it out of it. Let's be respectful in the chat. There should not be any personal attacks. You want to talk about the Concert Viz 34 bingo? y'all can do that, where I yawn or I do something else. Like, I say something that I always say, and you're playing Concert Viz 34 bingo. I say something cliche, but let's be respectful of others. Let's be kind to others. Let's not take it there tonight. Let's talk about the shows. Anyway, this show is interesting. I feel that there is a split amongst the fan base, and that split is the split is amongst the liberations. I think you got some people that have been chasing Help Myself for a while. There's some people that are going to go nuts over Hunger for the Great Light. And yes, and guys, let's stop calling names out. Let's stop doing this. Let's be respectful. Otherwise, stuff will be removed by the moderators. But let's pull up the set list because, and I say this because I think overall the fan base loves this set. But when it comes to what was liberated, I don't even think that's the best part of what this show was. I think the best part of this show. Oh, let's refresh. I didn't refresh my screen here. I think the best part of the show is the stoned two-step, in my opinion. Right? Some people are gonna say Help Myself, but to me, it's about the stone and the two-step. That's a great 1-2 punch, and those songs were not liberated tonight. Okay. So again, I think overall, the majority of fans from all aspects of this fan base have enjoyed this set. There are some people that still are, again, because of the liberations, Help Myself and Hunger versus other songs, they may not rank this as high as SPAC or some of the other things. But I think this is the band still going along a track where they have a great combination of everything. And they have a great, to me, like, when do you go to the bathroom during this set? Even if you don't like After Everything, which I do like, that's too quick. Maybe you go late in the evening, but if you're a Paul Simon fan, you're not. There's just a combination of the set list having some fresh air and the band just sounding great. Buddy Strong is getting more freedom to play the piano and to play it well in certain parts that he may have not played it as heavily. I don't feel like, I'm not talking about the trumpet overpowering anything or the electric guitar overpowering anything. And those have been my critiques of the band in the past, not the skill set of those, the trumpet player and the guitar player, Tim Reynolds and Rashawn Ross, right? What did I say in the intro of my videos? Rashawn the QB, right? And guys, don't forget to hit that like button, slap that like button. But this show sounded amazing. There was some hiccups. Rapunzel, I was told that the teleprompter went out. That's why there was some slipping and falling. I can't get up. DMX, RP DMX, stuff going on there. But the band sounds great, and the band is doing different things. They don't care that it's a Friday. They're gonna open again with Virginia in the Rain. You may not like it. You may not. Maybe you don't. But they're playing with house money, and they're being very gutsy. This is not how I expected this tour to be. I thought, album tour, maybe reduce your reduce your shows. I was wrong on that. And after Virginia in the Rain, they go right into Help Myself. Now, if we flip it back to last night, shout out to the DMB Almanac. Shout out to my boy Henry on there. Last night, they do this Virginia in the Rain tour debut, right? And now they flip it to today, and they do Virginia in the Rain into Help Myself. So this was something some people hadn't seen this song since '04. If you're in Camden, if you live in South Jersey, you probably saw this in 2013. It had Help Myself had not been played in America since 2013. It's been played in Europe and it had been played in Mexico. Dave and Tim. The fact that Help Myself, I look back, oh, it was last played in Europe, right? Last Big Eye Fish Without Bartender was played in Amsterdam. With those context clues, I wonder if Mercy comes back. Because Help Myself, Mercy, and Big Eye Fish Without Bartender are things that have been in Europe, but hadn't, the last times they kind of happened full band like that. Right? But Help Myself at that second spot is going to be a personal favorite for some fans. Maybe not for everyone, but I think some fans, that's going to be a personal high point of this show. They continue with Walk Around the Moon and 41. These are pretty standard songs in the set list in the last couple of tours from 21 to present. PMP Rapunzel, again, something that they've been playing for a while now. Rapunzel had the teleprompter issue. That's what I'm contributing or attributing to the issues. I get a Looking for a Vein, Old Dirt Hill. And then we get that I Want You See So Heavy After Everything. It's been gone for a bit, but the band decides to bring it back for Camden. I think it was great that it took a little bit of a rest. I actually like this combo, but this combo being moved led the way for other stuff to come in. Now they're bringing it back. Now, recently this is where some of the stuff Dave started to get upset. And I didn't see it. I was listening on Sirius XM. If you don't have Sirius XM, Dave Matthews Band Channel 30. You gotta get that. It sounded great on Sirius XM radio, but I did not know what was going on in the background, right? And let's go ahead. Let's see. I'm waiting for Michael W to be ready. I may have to call him, but we're looking for him to come on the stream. Let's go ahead. We're going to pull up some videos of what was going on. Now, I did not post. I saw some videos on Facebook, but I didn't know who to credit. And also, let's take a look at the set list. The set list is out. Let's look at the set list here. This is the set list. Shout out the corner of Gray Street. They had Matt Norland on. I gotta listen to that. I've been busy all day. I had Vacation Bible Camp night 1. I'm teaching the children in Vacation Bible Camp, so I didn't have time to listen to Matt Norlander's, and I'm gonna listen to it, but I've been so busy with that. I'm performing Sunday at my church, so I got a lot of stuff going on. But this is the set list. Virginia, help myself, Walk Around Vein, Dirt Hill, I Want You, After Everything, Recently, So Them Lucky, Monsters, Grace, Hunger, Spaceman, Lane, Even, Cha Cha Stone, Two Step. Everything seems to plan except there was no solo before 7. And I love Matt Norlander. I'm a huge college basketball fan, UConn men's basketball, and he covers college basketball so well. So that's the set list. Let's look at some of the videos, though. Let's look at some of the videos that were going on here. So there's a couple of these. This was the one that was posted directly. This was the one that was posted first directly to this. And shout out to Sierra. Sierra, I think her name, I can't remember her last name or she changed it. But she tagged me first. I know a bunch of y'all tagged me. And so I saw this. This is the video. Let's take a listen. Oops. Let's take a listen here. So Dave says, oh, y'all can't hear me. 41 to take a break, 5 show gap. Just wanted to point that out. But let's see if we can get that other video. Here, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull myself back up. See if we can get that other video. I think someone else tagged it. And again, this was one that I saw on Facebook first. I don't know if Scott DiPolito was the originator of it. People were kind of screen grabbing it. So I don't know who originated it. Oh, here it is. Wait, is it this one? Okay, so this is the video that was posted, and this looks like it's a screen capture. I don't know, but if it is Ride Guy's video, we'll see. Okay. Sorry, it's buffering, man. It's buffering. And if you were at the show, tonight and want to come on, please message me. I'm gonna call Michael. I'm gonna call him. Okay. Let me see. We're gonna call Michael. Okay, so I'm gonna say 3 to 4 minutes. I'll call you. Yeah, we're gonna call Michael from the phone. Anyway, sorry, my internet is listen. Anyway, y'all can see that it's everywhere now. Let's say, hey, we got 51 people on, man. That's probably why y'all shutting down my internet. Y'all shutting down the stream. I'll have to upgrade my streaming plan. Thank you everyone who's coming in. We'll have Michael W from Boots on the Ground. Michael is in Camden right now, so we're gonna talk to him. Shout out to Fody, aka DMBTampabay, aka DMB Daddy, who had some funny memes and tagged me in some videos as well with this whole kerfuffle that's been going on. So yeah, that was a big moment. Now, what I had been told, let's go back to the tweets, is this is from, there's a bunch of different people who have messaged me. Thank you guys who hit me up. But this was from a Facebook group that I'm a part of. Says 2 guys crushed a 14-year-old and his mom. Now this pair of the 14-year-old and mother had met day before the show, but they were somehow crushed or pushed or whatever it was. They were impacted by these 2 idiot fans. And they pushed their way to the front and were pushing up people on the rail on purpose, allegedly. Again, I was not there. I'm getting reports from the ground. This is in the middle of a show where not everything is lit up. So this is what has been saying. For Dave to be this mad says a lot. For Dave to be this upset. You know, there's all sorts of stuff that happens in the pit every night. People yell out stuff, you know. Ladies do some crazy stuff to try to get Dave's attention, and usually it doesn't faze him. But when he gets to that, there had to be something that really got him upset or that he saw. So that's a little bit of a, when Dave reacts like he did, that says everything. Now, we'll talk to Michael to see if he knows anything. My personal thing is this. This is the behavior that should not be at shows. This is the type of behavior I cannot confirm or deny what's been going on in the pits because I have not been in the pit this year, right? I've only gotten secondhand reports, but this is the type of behavior. Now, this is an extreme, right? Some of the other stuff is more subtle and more passive aggressive. This is an extreme, but anyone who is being disrespectful, who is trying to use their child to get to the front of the pit or trying to push and shove, or who isn't a person selected for the rail but they slide their way to the rail, right? Or they're doing things to make it uncomfortable for other people. That's where I call it out and say that's not right. Again, I'm not in the pit this year. I wasn't in the pit this year, but the type of behavior I've experienced in the pit for the times I've been in there, that's the stuff that's not cool. That's the stuff when we had the hashtag rail slug, all that stuff. It wasn't about you're on the rail, so we don't like you. It's people that either are trying to get to the rail, like tonight, allegedly, or who are on there being disrespectful or trying to do things to get there and cut people and do different things. Being respectful is what to me is what everyone should do, right? So based on these allegations, if that's true that it was a mother and a minor that Dave met before the show and they were there in the pit on the rail, whatever, and they were impacted, that's not cool. Um, that's not cool. I just don't think it's cool. So they play, and the thing is, this is during a recently and recently being back. These shows Help Myself recently, Hunger, Stone and Two Step in the same set. This is the type of stuff that enhances shows, in my opinion. I can't remember the last time they played Ants Marching, nor do they need to play Ants Marching. I'm sure there's fans, casual fans that want to hear that, but these shows are fire. So recently they play So Damn Lucky. Monsters is back, and Monsters sounds great. They play Grace, Hunger, Spaceman, Late in the Evening, Cha Cha, and like I said, Stone Two Step. Right. I think if I had to pick a weak spot in this set, it probably would have been the Spaceman Late in the Evening, but these are unique songs. I'd rather have Spaceman in a set than Why I Am for the 3 millionth time. And I love that Why I Am is getting a little bit of a break. I think that's a plus. We've heard the song. We miss Leroy. But I'd rather have Spaceman. But I just say if I had to pick a weak spot in this set, listening on Sirius XM, I'd say Spaceman late in the evening. It's Paul Simon is a genius. Simon and Garfunkel and all his Paul Simon solo stuff. He's a legend. I don't have that connection to the song, even compared to other Paul Simon songs. I just don't have. Not that it's bad. It's just if I have to pick a weak spot, it's probably somewhere around there. That's where I would have went to the bathroom. Encore is interesting. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the encore. They have 7 at the E1, and then they play Crush. Some fans aren't excited about Crush ending shows. I think, though, I look at it the Stone and Two Step ending the main set is so incredible. The encore is just extra credit. And if you don't like Crush, just leave during. I think that's the thing. If you don't like Crush closing a show, just leave. I know that may sound extreme, but if you don't like Crush ending the show, just leave. It's just you can beat the traffic or take a ferry early or whatever you want to do. I mean, I'd probably still stay. I know there's some controversy with So Damn Lucky and Crush songs like that ending shows, but I like how they're throwing in some unique stuff this year, and they're closing out with Crush, closing out with So Damn Lucky. But this is a great night one to me. This is a great step. There's always going to be someone who doesn't like a DMB set. There's always going to be someone who loves it. I just feel like there's a great mix of fans who love every show and fans who have been waiting for these songs to come back, that they're all happy. And I think my thing is this. I think Crush and So Damn Lucky have finality and unique in different ways to close out a show to end the encore. So Damn Lucky, you have this, like, I just feel like it's all right, I'm blessed, I'm fortunate, I'm here in this moment. And I know some people don't like the thank yous, but the thank yous for letting me, like, I heard a show end on that. I thought it was cool. I thought it was special, and it was a unique way to end the show. And then I think a Crush ending a show is another way, to just a great epic song to close out. Jazzy DMB. And tonight they did a little more of like a Watchtower. Stefan did like a Watchtower type bass intro. It seemed like maybe I'm off, but it sounded like a Watchtower, and they went right to Crush though, which was kind of a cool little thing. And Hines says something. The thing about 7 in the E1, it eliminates a solo that's been overplayed at this point. Yes and no, because the encore had spot for solo 7 and then Crush. But I agree. I'd rather just have it 7 and Crush than a something to tell. Do we need a something to tell my baby there? Do we really need it?
Nope.
We don't need a something to tell my baby in a set this electric. If it was played, I know it's a very great song and it has a special meaning. But I think when you end the main set with 2 step, hey, pop it back up with 7. Super Beer Mike says, I was honestly hoping for a Watchtower E2 when Fonz went to the bass stuff. I think Crush is better. That's just me, but I'm not a fan of Watchtower closing shows. I think the best spot for Watchtower to me is mid set. Watchtower closing shows, like, I want to hear a Dave song to end. And I think Watchtower is, over the years, it's been less about what made it great, which was acoustic guitar and violin. And I really bring up the violin, but to me, like, Watchtower with a guest, it's amazing, but mid set is the best spot regardless. But there's not enough nuanced jamming in Watchtower for me to like it as an E2. But it is I will say this, as an E2, Watchtower is a huge fan favorite and a casual fan favorite. So if it did close out, the fans would have still went nuts. But I like Crush being there over Watchtower. And that's what Back at You 1999 says. Watchtower with the guests is better. But it's got to be they've had some great guests on Watchtower. All right, I'm going to call Michael. And let's see. Let's get Michael live from... And another thing I heard is it's typical not Flyers, typical Philly fans, or this is South Jersey. So for all we know, we don't know where these fans are from. I know Philly has a reputation. I'm a Flyers, Sixers, Patriots, Yankees fan. Long story, very long story. A lot of it has to do with the Whalers leaving Connecticut. That's why I became a Philly fan. For the Flyers, Keith Primo got traded for Rob Brindamore. Anyway, but this fan could have been from anywhere. And the behavior of the pit overall this year, and the behavior of the fans, Saratoga Springs, y'all saw my videos, right? Those fans were in front of me. And listen, I'm glad they're excited. But some dude was yelling out the American Baby intro lyrics like right before they came on. So fans are horrible everywhere. And there's been stuff with kids have been attacked in the pit, allegedly. So this stuff could happen anywhere. And we also don't know if these fans are from Philly or from Jersey or from New York or from Wilmington, Delaware, or from Virginia, or from halfway across the country. we really don't know where these fans are from. And by the way, the Gorge has a fight every year, so it's not an East Coast thing. Even in the West Coast, and the pit is a whole different vibe, no matter where you are. Now, there's some venues even up north, like in Maine, a rainy thunderstorm, night where you're far from civilization, where the pit seems to be kinder. But these type of things can happen anywhere. Same thing with sports. Like I said, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm a Flyers fan. I've been to these venues for big games, and all these fans can be horrible. Philly, New York, Boston. It could even be Chicago. Like, there's annoying fans at every game. You could possibly go to. There's chances are there's an annoying fan. So I don't want to pin this on Philly. I know that's the biggest thing. Listen, I've seen crazier stuff in Boston as a Patriots fan. And Philly hates Boston. Boston hates Philly. They say all this stuff against each other, and I've seen crazy stuff, right? I've seen Joel Ward score a goal in Boston, and people I know say crazy slurs to Joel Ward. I've seen Philly fans do all sorts of disgusting and inappropriate things, but I've seen New York fans be just as egregious, right? So people in general now, for many different reasons, don't know how to behave and haven't known how to behave for a while. We just have more cameras now. That's what I felt. Anyway, let's get to Michael. Let's get to Michael. And thank you guys for being on. Hit the like. Thank you guys for watching. We got 50 people in the chat. And my next show is my 50th show. All right, let's see.
Hey, this is Mike. Leave a message. I'll give you a call back. Thanks.
Oh, dang. He's on voicemail. Call me if you want. Wow. All right, we're going to have to figure this out, but let's see. Let's see. We're going to have to see. Someone said, shake me for Marcus's 50. Bridget. I love you, Bridget, but yeah. Yeah. It's just like shake me, buy you, reprise. Right? Shake me, buy you, reprise. What else? Sledgehammer, reprise, or actually, I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm a huge Peter Gabriel fan, but I think Sledgehammer needs to take a break from DMB. But the crowd goes nuts for it, so. Oh yeah, Can't Stop. That Girl Is You. It'll probably have a That Girl Is You opener. It'll be like, this is for concert vids. Watch, I'm gonna go to MSG, and it's gonna be the first That Girl Is You and the only That Girl Is You of the year, with the lovely ladies. Straight into Satellite. No, I actually love Satellite. I just wish they had more piano in it, like Live Tracks 31. Oh, here's Michael. All right, hey, Michael. All right, you are live on the air. Let's bring up your caption that shows that you're on the phone or on the stream here.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Hold on, let me get you. Okay. Tell us about this show.
Oh man, it was a great show. I loved it. It was awesome. Just total great energy. After so many shows, it was still pumping. How about that Help Myself? That was a shocker.
Yep.
It really got my attention when we started playing that.
Yeah, last played in Paris. Played Dave and Tim. The last American performance of the full band Help Myself was in 2013 in Camden.
Yeah, that was insane. He likes to play some deep tracks in Camden, but I didn't expect to hear Help Myself with anything. That was really out there, man.
No,
but, it was good. I really didn't feel the opener, but that's just me.
Okay, second show in a row for you where you've gotten Virginia in the Rain. Now the big thing is, I don't know if you heard, there's reports, and there was I don't know where you're sitting, but Dave kicked out 2 fans.
Yeah, man. So I was sitting up at the top of the 202s, and we were watching, and I heard you talk about it when you said that you heard the scuttlebutt you heard on Facebook. But when I saw it go down, he kind of walked over, he looked, and like immediately I was like, man, something's wrong. And he gave this giant arm swoop, like you're out of here. Like he was like you were arguing with the umpire in a baseball game, man. And I was like, you know, he kind of walked away and he covered it well, like kept singing, like even the end of recently where he went into the that outro reprise, whatever, you know. That like that's kind of where I was like, maybe something didn't happen. Because, you know, I figured if something big happened, he would have just cut the song off before, you know, they carried on. But, you know, apparently, yeah, I guess he was visibly upset. I zoomed in on it on the Twitter, on our stream there. We were hanging out. And he was angry, like shaking his head and stuff like that. He was mad, man, really mad.
So you weren't able to see like any, I know you're in the 202s. Did you see anything in the pit, like any pushing, shoving? Did you have any friends in the pit that may have said anything? Or?
No. I actually, as soon as I heard you say something about it, I put out a message to somebody that I knew was in the pit, and they haven't. Let me look. Now they haven't reached back out to me yet. So.
Okay.
But I do know of a couple of people that were in the pit. So.
Okay, I did reach out. If you guys are obviously you guys are watching the stream. If you're watching the stream, say what. I did message someone who was they were like one row behind the rail folks, and they were more center, and they said they did not see anything in their vicinity. They didn't feel anything. They didn't see anything. They noticed Dave got mad, and then they turned towards where he was pointing and where he was motioning to. So it is with the pit and the Camden pit, the size of it, it is possible that large portions of this pit may have not felt anything or heard anything in a loud concert environment, and that this was an isolated portion of the pit that may have experienced whatever happened. So again, I did get a report from someone. I wanted to make sure they were okay. First and foremost, I was like, this one of my friends that may have been impacted. I know there was a report. We found later on it was a kid and a parent allegedly, but in a minor at that, which is more disheartening. But I checked in to a friend that was there, and they were okay at the a person behind people on the rail. So we'll have to see if more footage comes out. I think there should be not referees, but they really they need to have people in, like, maybe, and it's hard because the pit's large, but they need to have people in the pit that can regulate it, or to me, they need to go back to just having seats there. What do you think, Michael?
Honestly, last night or this morning, somebody offered me a warehouse pit for tonight. They wanted a pit partner, and I thought about it, and I said no, and I sat in the 200s. That's how bad I feel about the pit anymore. It's just an awful experience. And Camden, the 1 year I was in there, somebody gifted me a Ticketmaster later on in the middle of the show, and I tried to go back there just to stand on the back rail and stream a little bit, and I got screamed at. And I was like, and I went and hid in the corner all the way over by Jeff. It's such a gigantic pit, Camden. It's like, it's the whole length of the stage, It's the pit where they let people in, and it's like 5 deep. So it really gets out of control quickly. And the venue themselves to talk about the pit back to seats would be great. We just came from Hometown with seats. It was awesome,
right,
man.
That's your home venue. For those who know, Michael's home, literally by his home, is the venue. And I think my only thing is this: what I said on Twitter to someone, replied to them. My only hope would be is that the first couple of rows are warehouse only. Now, maybe that doesn't happen because DMB is not the cure. They're not going to fight tooth and nail per se to say, hey, let's make this change. Maybe that's not the case. They focus on more of the music, and I'm not. It is what it is. But that's my only other concern is that maybe the front row ends up being, if it does, if with it being a pit, they can't really. The warehouse gets the front anyway. But I think if it goes back to seats, I've seen this at John Mayer where maybe it's those seats are all higher price premium tickets. So that would be my only caveat, and maybe that's not realistic. Maybe if it goes to seats, it's just the way it is, the business. They're gonna sell those for much more. But I would yeah.
Well, personal experience in Homedale, I know for a fact that that first row is always warehouse people.
Oh, that's great.
They've actually dropped that first row on instant ticket at one point in time.
Really?
I had someone pick up a front row Homedale ticket on an instant ticket. So I think they actually hold. I don't know if it's just that venue, but they hold that really special. Like they weren't going to let that out to anybody.
That's awesome. If that's the case, I always
watch that to see if I get a resale on it. They never come up.
Okay. So if that's the model, I honestly say, and listen, I've been in the pit. I've been in the back of the pit. I've been on the rail. I've experienced what it's like to be on that rail, but I think it's just safer if there's seats there. People's attitude, that us as humans, especially this post-pandemic world, where even my friends who are teachers are seeing different behaviors at various levels. It's just better to have seats. It's a deterrent. When people were at Amos Lee last night at the Man, and there's seats, there's just a different behavior. I know that's a different artist, acoustic based, but just people seeing seats changes things. And I'm talking in screwed in seats, because sometimes the chairs at the Gorge, people do act wild there, but I heard those were replaced. So, but yeah, it's seats. Get them in the temporary seats. Place them in like they do for hockey games. They screw those seats into the ground temporarily, and most venues can do that. They're not folding chairs for all venues. A lot of them can screw seats into the ground. And temporarily until they have another pit show. I just think, to me, it's safer. It's better. It's just I don't know. That's how I feel. So other highlights. So you guys get. I mean, what about that Stone to Two Step? What do you think about that?
That was awesome, man. That dropped right in. I mean, to keep that energy up was awesome. It was just. Stone was great, It's great, Marcus. I really, everything's so good. The band's so good. I don't know how, I'm saying it over and over. It feels like, but for them to reach back and put the two of them together like that was just like classic. It was really a nice fit.
Yeah. And you get Cha Cha again before that.
Excuse me, Cha Cha.
You're one of your favorites now, or new favorites.
Man, that song is something else. I was talking to some people about that, and because it was just amazing. I'm like, I hope he plays it. And I looked around, and the row was just by the third chorus or whatever we want to call it. Everybody was dancing and singing along. It really it was pumping tonight. It's dialed in, man. Really dialed in. That was a highlight of my night. I don't know. It's just still awesome. So special.
It was nice to, on the Twitter stream. I was on Sirius XM tonight, but seeing your excitement and joy for Cha Cha at Jones Beach and seeing how you were singing, you knew a lot of the words. It was great to see that moment and see how you experienced that. What'd you think of "Hunger for the Great Light"? Is that a song that you really wanted to get back? Did you not care? How did you feel about "Hunger"?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's a nice dark driving song. That's good. Dave, a nice screamer. We like
Yeah.
those. So yeah, getting that back, and that's almost like with Dave with his voice sounding so good. So many people have said in the crowd that he sounds better than he's ever sounded singing. Like he's so strong, and I mean we know why that is.
Yeah.
Of course, because rap and the training he's doing, but he's just so strong, and he's reaching back these old songs that were really what they used to say it was tough for him to sing or whatever. He's really he's really powerful singing lately. So
Yeah.
songs like that they're just driving, just nice songs, like really upbeat. And everybody's like all about it because they haven't heard it in so long.
Yeah.
So,
You know what's interesting? Let me know if you think that this way. Between "Help Myself" and some of these stand-up songs, like "Old Dirt Hill," "Hunger for the Great Light," "You Might Die Trying" has the same feel. It's what's interesting is in this post-Roy era, does it feel like a lot of these stand-up songs you've heard in the last couple of shows, you've been to everything since Guilford, does it feel like a lot of these songs seem to have a lot of acoustic strumming and more of an acoustic presence than even some of the classic songs from the big three that seem, in this era have less acoustic? Do you feel like you get a lot more acoustic guitar in those songs from stand-up?
Yeah. I mean, he's only pulling out the electric on a couple of them. So, stand up. I'm a real big fan of stand up. I mean, I think it's a really underrated album. I think it's because we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
And people talk about like you just listen on the songs. It's like I don't like stand up, but you give them 4 songs. You're like they're great songs. You're like, well, they're all stand up. You're like, oh wow, really? Because they don't think about it. So I really him changing stuff up like that, and because that was more heavy electric, right, on the album stuff.
It depends. I just think when you bring them to a live setting, obviously American Baby Intro now has the baritone, but I mean, it just "Old Dirt Hill," "You Might Die Trying," Dave was just strumming out that stuff, and even "Hunger for the Great Light." Those are songs that to me just have that acoustic guitar, and I think that those songs also are vastly better live and have improved better live outside of Bayou. But I think a lot of those songs sound great live and "Stolen Away." Oh wow. Like they just were made more for the live stage in the studio. And I know some people don't like Batson. I think I don't even think it's on Batson as much as just the songs are evolving. Like these are songs I believe I can say evolved after Roy. There's songs that to me just don't sound the same. And again, I never saw him in person, but just listening to audio, some songs will just never be the same, especially for like 41. Look at the set list, 41. But like to me, the "You Might Die Trying" has gotten better since the Roy Pat. And it's not because the Roy, Jeff's like better than the Roy. It's just the song had space to grow and truly be better outside of how the band was with Roy. Which is unique because most of the music, again, like I said, people say their favorite this is the best 2-step ever. I'm like, the Roy wasn't on it.
Yeah.
Like there's and I love these 2-steps. Like I love the one tonight. What do you think about Buddy's keys there? It sounded like he was turned up in the mix and playing.
Yeah. Buddy sounded great. He was. It was awesome. Everything. They're letting them change the songs. I feel like every time they reach back and they grab something like "Help Myself" or something, it's like they were like, let's grab stuff and see how we can put our spin on it, how we can jam it out or evolve it into something that fits into the format of the band that we have now. And it was like all the jams and stuff and adding that stuff in that new level of of whatever they want to do, that maybe they didn't listen to the previous versions as heavy, or something like that. They hear a jam that they want to put in that they thought about putting in a long time, and they reach back and get this back catalog stuff. That's like the evolution of the band. It's really cool that we're seeing now. They're playing new songs and stuff like that.
Yeah. And regardless of who's in this band, regardless of what instruments are in this band, I just feel like this is a great time to see this band. Everyone is in sync and just on fire. Now let's look at the poster. So give me 1 second. Were there posters left? Someone sent me a message that there were still foils left for this poster. Did the poster sell out?
Dude, man, I went all over it, and no, I don't know if it sold out because I ran out to beat traffic, and I actually saw the buses, but at 7 o'clock they still had foils, dude.
Oh, at 7.
At 7 they still had foils.
How did it look? How did the foil look?
Posters and everything else.
How did this look in real life? Because I saw some pictures from the poster groups, and it looked like it was much drastically better than the digital graphic that I have. What did you?
Yeah, it's really it pops. It looks good. Like I thought it was really gonna blow up, but like it didn't fly off the shelf. Like I was surprised. I don't know. You know what, Marcus? There was somebody in front of me in the poster line. Like when I heard there's still foils, and I'm standing there, and he went back and forth over like shirt size, him and his wife for like 5 minutes, and like it was a test of patience as I'm watching.
Oh, that's the worst.
Like, they're not into it. They're just not into the posters. They're just in there, which is fine. You stand there. It is what it is. I have to respect the fact that they're gonna buy their shirts and stuff because it's what it is. But they're not into the posters. Like the foils were sick, dude. I'm like, wow. It shocked me. It shocked me. And they only had the trading cards on the inside merch tent, which are the inside one inside the pavilion.
Oh, that was for a couple. I think even a lot of them have done that, and I think that's the way to do it. That you have to go inside. I think that's the way to do it. I will say that's frustrating. I wish there was a way to have lines just for the poster, because people, and I get it, I understand, because the sizes for the shirts at a concert can vary.
Yeah.
And by the year they can vary. People buy a shirt, they get home and it doesn't fit.
$75 for a shirt. I'll give you a minute to get the right size, man. That's your deal.
There's 75, that they were 35.
There was 45 and 75 long sleeves, and
long sleeves, yeah.
Long sleeves, stuff like that, so I hear that. But I would really, like, we talk about it all the time while we're waiting. It's like, we would really like to see a dedicated poster line.
Yeah.
Like, but that's asking a venue to do that. That's another person.
Right. And it may not match but it's like people in front like, yo, you could buy this online, family. This poster may sell out. Like the farmhouse I have from Guilford. Yeah. I'm like, homie, you could buy this shirt online and you can return it. You can go to the next show. You can come later. The shirts are still going to be here. The only things that go are the blanket, the SPAC and Deer Creek specific blankets. Those were gone in 60 seconds. No Angelina Jolie. But like everything else is going to be here. Come tomorrow.
Yeah. Seriously, it kills me.
So it is, but again, I empathize though with people that the shirt sizes, and in general the size. I don't want to go too off track, but like when you buy stuff at the store now, there's so much like skinny fit, slim fit, and I'm a pretty short, skinny dude. But it's like, hey, yo, let's get what happened to the regular sizes of stuff. Let's get to the crowd. How was the crowd? Was it casual? Was it hardcore? What was like the mix of the crowd vibe from the 200s?
It was cool. It was a good mix. It was mostly all warehouse around me, which is always nice when it's like a warehouse ticket. And load in with that. I had guys behind me Do all the words. Help Myself was a nice judge of like how senior the crowd was around me. So I probably had 5 or 6 people that knew it. Right around me knew the words, which is really, that's a shocker.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I had a couple that didn't know the words, but were pissed that they didn't know what it was. So I knew they were diehard fans. You know what I mean? So it was a nice around us. They were really psyched. They, Grace Is Gone and all the big hits. They really loved and singing along. But man, all the big hits are still MIA. And it's cool, but like Too Much, So Much, Ants, all the hits are. It's cool, but wow, man, right? Just all these local New York sets without these big songs in them for me, it's just a shocker. It really is. If I were to write a set list or do that game, I would never in a million years leave all those off for as long as they've been gone.
And you know what? When it comes to the fact that there's no ants, no Crash Into Me, no You and Me.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
Everything's gone. Like, it's cool. It's like you took the whole playlist and threw it out the window.
Yeah,
you really did.
But you know what? It feels like Stefan brought all the Twitter complaints to Dave, and Dave is like, okay, fine, Stefan, we can have all this stuff. And it's like, me, I've been complaining about, and listen, I love this band. But it's like, okay, fine, we'll take Buy You off for like 3 weeks. All right, fine, we'll do Help Myself. Fine, we'll do.
Because we talked about Help Myself for the first time in how long?
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, bro. And they dropped it. My heart stopped, man. I'm like, what's going on? Somebody played a sick joke on me.
And last full band was in Paris in 2019. So this Help Myself has not been played since the pandemic. And even so, even before the pandemic, you maybe got a couple per year if you were that lucky. If we look at the history of Help Myself, obviously it was played. It was one of those 04 songs that was. Oh no, it was played before that. Sorry, yeah, I forgot. This from the early 90s. There's been some pop-ins and pops-outs of it. Yeah, but there's only been since 2010. We had 2 in 2010. We had 1 in 2012, 2 in 2013, 1 in 2017, Dave and Tim, and then Paris, France, 3/10/19, and then tonight. So 2020, 2021, 2022, 2018, 2016, 2015, 2014, 2011, the Caravan year. None of those years from 2010 to present had Help Myself. And even when you go back to the last year of Roy in 2008, 7/12 and 8/29, that's it. The highest played year is, it looks like in the 93, which they had the majority of them. And like when you go past 2004, since 2004, the most times it's been played in a year is twice. That's crazy. And so that fact that it comes back, and it comes back at Camden is definitely a very interesting thing.
We're having fun, Marcus. We're having a lot of fun out here, aren't we?
When are you gonna get off tour? You've been riding this train to freedom.
Tomorrow night, man.
Oh, tomorrow night's your last.
The last hurrah.
The last stop.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's all good. I just pulled up to my house, so that's cool. But yeah, tomorrow night's that's it, man. I can't wait. The fans through this. I couldn't have done it without the fans, man, and the family and everybody along the way. I mean, how could you? It's too much to do all this. You talk about it all the time. Go to this many shows in a row. But it's really, the band has really performed in such a way over these past 2 weeks that it's been phenomenal the way they're doing it. It's like, are they literally like going, you can throw a dart at a board, pick an old song, and we're going to bring it out.
Yeah.
Come on. Everybody can pick one.
Yeah.
We'll just try it out, and if you like it, great, we're going to go with it. And if not, we're going to put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, and to see these songs come back And to see like a recently be played 3 times since it's came out, and like that's the other thing too. Two Step gets another play. Stone gets its third play of the year. It's great that they're carrying some of these over to the next show. So if you are in a different part of the Northeast or a different part of the country, you have hope that, yeah, you may not get Busted Stuff, you may not get Bismarck, but every show since Deer Creek, you go Deer Creek, Chi-Town, like every show since then has had some special things for a venue. In the Liberations, sometimes that's special to people, but sometimes it's not just the Liberations. Not a lot of areas you could say, oh, that song. And these shows are solid. Well, hey, Michael, thank you for coming on. And
It's a pleasure as
we'll
always.
look to try to reach out to you tomorrow as well.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, yeah. One thing on the pit and everything. I just wanted to say that their crew in Camden there letting people in the warehouse. They literally stopped people that didn't have warehouse tickets until everybody from the warehouse was into the venue.
Okay, so
they
people.
did a fantastic.
That's awesome to hear, and that's the type of crowd control that you want to see, is that they're doing that type of stuff to because the warehouse fan club, like people who get those seats or trade for those seats, it's a nice perk to be able to ensure that you get early entry. And like you just said with the example to Homedale, what other band's gonna have warehouse tickets in the front row, or not have those tickets for sale to someone who's just going to throw a bunch of money to flip it, or to pay a bunch of money to be there, may not be as invested in the band. So great to hear those things. And like I said, get some sleep, get some rest.
Thank you, Marcus. We will
All right.
speak soon. All right. Have
Take
a
care.
great night. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
So yeah, that is thank you to Michael for coming on. Glad to get someone from the show given that perspective. Again, I just think this band is in a great spot. It's not even I have trust and faith that I can walk into a show and not only have a good time with the band, but to really be surprised and awed that they're just in a good spot. And I hope it continues. I don't know how long we're gonna go without some of these staples, but I hope this thing keeps going. We don't need ants. Right? Even 41 taking a little bit of a break. I know some years it's eluded me in my first couple years of shows. But yeah, it's just my first 7 shows I didn't have 41, I believe it was. Was it 7 or 6? And this is like 2012 to 2014. Anyway, it's just great. It's really great to see these sets, and again, everyone, oh, the band's predictable, and someone had a meme on Twitter like the Michael Jordan. I took that personally. Dave saw all the criticism and took it personally. He said, I'm pulling out all the stops now, Deer Creek forward from here on out. But yeah, exciting stuff here. Thank you guys. Listen, we had 50 people at the peak of this. If you're watching this night 1 post show stream and want to come on night 2, please message me. Please comment on these videos. And I thank you guys for being on tonight. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on outside of this. I got the Bible camp night 2 is tomorrow, or morning 2. We do a night morning thing at my church, so I got to get on and teach these children. Okay, and then I'm gonna be performing or sitting in with this month. I've had 2 sit-ins with the main church band. I play usually in the youth church, the music for the youth church guitar. So now I'm in the big auditorium, and with the headphones tied to a larger soundboard, and it's been a lot of fun. So anyway, I say all that to say, man, I need to get some sleep. Stay tuned. Also, stay tuned for the Guilford Night 1 show. I'm just waiting for a couple of videos Let me know what you guys think about this as well. Put it in the comments. I'm gonna pull up my Instagram because what I did, I put a poll out. What I've been trying to do with this Guilford oh, let's listen to DMB Tampa Bay. Good thing I came here. Let's see what it looks like he got a first-hand account of what's going on. But anyway, let me pause this because what I'm trying to do with this Guilford show, I had a little bit of, I'm pretty close, but I'm not zoomed in. I'm thinking of doing this split screen thing where I have Dave, like a pit cam right here for some stuff. But let me know what you guys think, just for like 30 seconds to a minute or 30 seconds to 2 minutes, where you can see the wide shot right here. And the wide shot is the bottom part, and then superimposed over the wide shot is a close-up of Dave in the pit, and you see it vertically. So you kind of get to see Dave up close, but then you get to see the full band. You'll still be able to see most of the full band right here on the screen. So let me know what you guys think about that. I think it's just a cool feature that I was gonna try to incorporate. And again, shout out to Copperpot. There is no one like Copperpot. I'm putting these up also because Copperpot doesn't have enough video for Guilford or SPAC to make a full multi-cam right now. And I talked to him before. I was going to just send my videos to him and have him do it. But he said, hey, no, do your thing. I don't have enough to do the professionally shot multi-cam switches. Like I'm, like, because you need, in order to have what Copperpot does, you really need 5 or 6 sources minimum for the whole show to be able to switch back and forth and make it look like a real pro done, even though it's amateur video, a pro shot. Let's see if we can hear anything from let's see. Let's see what we can find for this, because I want to hear this. Let's see. We're gonna pull this up. I'm gonna listen with you guys. Let's see.
All right, everybody. Thank you for hopping on. I do have Chrissy, who was involved in tonight's incident in the pit. I'm going to be bringing her up, and our good friend Dave stepping in. Let's see if we can get her spooled up here. There we go. Hey, Chrissy.
Hey.
All right, so I've got you live here on my Instagram page. People are starting to tune in, and I think the entire Dave Matthews Band Instagram world and beyond is very interested in what occurred this evening to get a side of Dave that we have not seen before. So without further ado, everybody, this is Chrissy. She was in Camden, and the pit Camden kerfuffle that we all witnessed began with her. So Chrissy, go ahead and tell us what occurred.
So I was in the pit. I always do kind of between Stefan and Jeff and Rashawn, and standing there enjoying the night. And all of a sudden I could see from my left, a guy, I should say, who's big. He was probably about 6'3", in a shirt that said Zero Fox, kind of push his way through. As you know, people kind of shove through with the pit, and so everyone kind of has their pit family that they kind of stick to. So I kind of saw it out of my left side of my eye that someone was kind of shoving their way up, and he shoved his way kind of towards me. But what was kind of different about him is that he was not even facing the stage. He was facing the crowd, and all of a sudden I felt him shove up against me, and he was shoulder to shoulder with me, staring at me, not at the stage, staring at the crowd, and like shoved into me, pushed into me. And I turned to him and said, like, what are you doing? This is my spot. Get out of my spot. And anyone who's in the pit with me knows that, like, I am a big fan of making sure that everyone stays in this, like, don't come push up. And so I don't have a hard time saying, this is my spot. you know, go. And so he looked at me and he was really blank in the eyes. He was very combative. He definitely wanted to start something. And so I said, you know, you got to move. And as I was turning towards him, because he's facing away from the stage, and I turned my body, he kind of moved after a couple seconds of an interaction, and he was just staring at me, trying to start something with me. And then there was a woman, and I believe the guy was with her right behind me. And so when I had said, move, after he kind of shoved me, or hit into me, he took a step back, and then that gentleman, unfortunately, had to deal with him next. And
so real quick, the gentleman behind you did not know this guy? He just kind of, he stepped up and
well, you know,
helped you out?
Up together? No, I don't know him. But, and I think the female that was right behind me was with him. I only assume that that's why. So as soon as the guy who was right there kind of took a step back, because I said move after he shoved into me and was just staring at me. And he made a comment like, what are you going to do about that? Like I said, like, this is my spot. And I mean, he was looking for a fight. It wasn't the typical, like, I'm just trying to get closer to the rail. It was, this guy had different intentions, and it was just a matter of who he was going to fight with. And so when he stepped back behind me, the gentleman who was behind the female, I kind of made eye contact with him, and he, the guy kind of got in his space. And that's when they started arguing, and this guy was not letting up. And I'd say he probably was 6'3", and so was the gentleman that stood up. And it was clear that this guy wanted to use his stature to intimidate. And I think that that's where he was kind of going at first with me. And so I saw he wasn't backing down. It wasn't the typical, like, move on, move on. And so, and I saw it getting combative. And I felt obligated and could see that this guy was about to get into a fight. And so I waved security, and then the security got the flashlight, and the guy was still kind of at his face. So I don't know what happened with the scuffle, but you could see it was gonna come to blows. And I had no clue that Dave was watching any of this. So I started to go to the rails of security to get him, because I knew it was just a matter of time until this guy got physical, because he was not backing down. And when I got to the rail and I got the security and I turned to start pointing to where he was, all of a sudden I hear like a ruckus, and I look up, and literally there's Dave on the stage right by us screaming at him. And I had no clue that he had been watching any of this transpire. And it was awesome. But the guy still wasn't leaving. Like, you could see in the video, Dave's like shouting like 3 or 4 times. Right. He wasn't. And the whole crowd, because at this point in time, you know how it is. And he was just combative. And yeah, so I mean, my interaction was much shorter than the gentleman behind me who had the guy in his face. Wow. Yeah. Now, what happened after? Did they end up eventually getting the gentleman out of there, or did he stick around and kind of separate from where you were at? What happened past this point? So I was at the rail by the security, and so when I turned, I was now, a little bit further, he went. I don't know, I assume security got him, because I had told the security, I said, like, he shoved me, and so I assumed that they met him at the pass, because he was nowhere near us, and there's no way that I think he would have been able to hang out anywhere in it. I mean, and I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed in the pit if he didn't start another fight, because he was looking for something. I mean, he had a shirt that said "Zero Fox." Well, Chrissy, first off, from one fan to another, I'm really sorry that you had to experience this. I mean, we all go to these shows as a form of group therapy or to escape, life. And I think Dave means the same for the vast majority of us. These types of individuals are clearly the outlier. Every time something like this happens, it makes its way through the community very quickly. And unfortunately, they become kind of infamous characters in this universe that we've all created. So I know I had nothing to do with it, but I truly, like, from one fan to another and from a man to a woman, I'm sorry that this occurred. It's not right. I know that when I'm in the pit, I do my best to protect the people around me, especially females. I'm so glad. If anybody here happens to know the gentleman that was behind her, that was willing to stand up and defend her, and everybody else in that little area, please pass along his name, because he deserves some recognition as well. I feel normally we, you know, kind of all exchange numbers, and I did after I kind of composed myself, because it was kind of jarring. We did kind of high five him, and I normally exchange. So he's got to probably be in one of the groups. And I feel bad that I didn't get to exchange numbers with him. But speaking about the pit, and I had mentioned it to you before, I was saying that I go to the pit all the time by myself. This is my 10th of this summer tour, and 9 out of the 10 times I've gone by myself. And when I say by myself, I mean not with my husband or my friends, because as you know, this is an outlier. The pit is incredible, and I've met some of the closest friends. I actually have someone I call my DMB husband, who that horrible storm at Deer Creek, because I was driving home from Chicago that night, he was the one telling me, you know, storms stop getting bad at Gary. So this is an outlier with the pit. But I go to the pit all the time by myself. And as a female, it's like I can't thank Dave and Jeff and the whole band enough, because as a female in the pit, sometimes it's a little intimidating. And like, I'm from Chicago, so I'm here by myself. Literally, I mean, I'm meeting people in line, but it's one of those things where you never know, and you're kind of vulnerable.
Right.
And so I never in a million years thought that they were watching it. And it just shows that, I mean, Dave fans and all the band are just incredible. And this guy was not representative of the pit. And I'm so appreciative of the band and Dave, because for a female, and I was by 2 other females who were by themselves too. And so I appreciate from a solo pit goer.
That's awesome. And it really was amazing what Dave did. I mean, I think artists need to, obviously they have a job to do. They're up there, they're focused on what they're trying to do. They can't always see out into the crowd with the lights the way they are, but he's attentive, and he saw what happened tonight. And I don't know if you've seen the reaction yet.
So
Huge.
I did. So I was talking to security, and I just heard the ruckus. And I honestly at first thought that there was an actual fight, because I just heard the ruckus and I was trying to point, and I thought, oh God, it got physical. And it wasn't until I looked up that I saw, oh, Dave's literally right there. And I saw that, and I didn't even get to see the full extent of it until some of my pit family text me, what's going on in the pit? And my one friend, Rebecca, was like, I can tell you, because it involved me, and they were sending it to me. But it was incredible. And honestly, it's not a surprise that Dave's an incredible person, and he's looking out for people in the pit and looking out for his fans, and always does. The whole band does. Right. So they're all.
Chrissy, I really appreciate you being willing to share your story. I know it was a traumatizing moment, not what anybody should have to go through at a Dave show, but I think it's a great opportunity for us to share with the community that, number one, this is not the time or place. We need to be watching out for each other. Unfortunately, recently we've noticed some negativity going on in the social media space. There's been some other events in the pit. I mean, I know my group experienced something very awful in Mexico at the Cancun shows, and there's been a few more since then. So I think as a family, we all need to kind of just step up, look out for one another, and eliminate this kind of crap, because there's no place for it. A Dave show is for all. It's a place for us to escape what life is throwing at all of us. And
like, it kills me when I'm on the different pages and I hear people say, oh, I don't do the pit, because for me, I love every second of it. Like I said to you, I am a mom of 3, and this is my escape. This is my me time. This is like my energizing recharge. I come back to the family, my selfish little thing I do for myself. And I've been going to Dave since 97. And I feel like this is my me time. And I go there to be with people who love the band. We can share different things, like how we were talking about, you know, Tinley Park in 99. Oh my God, do you remember Alpine, the mudslide? And it's all positivity. And it kills me that some people are now steering clear of the pit and missing out, because I feel like there's a different feel when you guys are all standing there for hours, kind of bonding. It's a different feeling. It makes me say I want to hear people steer clear of it because of these situations. So
yeah, they're one-off situations. And again, thank you for sharing your story with us. Everybody else, let's do better. Yep. That's all I can say.
Yep. And if you see me in the pit, I'm usually in an obnoxious shirt. Come see me.
All right. All right, Chrissy. Thank you so much. It was very nice to meet you, and I hope everybody else has a great night.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so there you go. Shout out to Fody, aka DMB Daddy. He actually was tagging me in a bunch of stuff. So I'm not shocked this just popped up on my feed. And good dude, man. Fody is a good dude. And I was able to meet him at MSG this past fall. Just a good dude. I will say this: I've met people from the pit. My limited, I've only been what 3 times in the pit. Yeah, I've only been in the pit 3 times. Well, hey, that's more than a lot of people, but at the same time, I don't. I try to seek elevation. I'm also 5'7". If you've not met me in real life, I'm no. I'm the all my brother. No, all my uncles are like over 6 feet, but on both sides of my family, I didn't get that height. That's why I play hockey and not.
Bruh.
That's why I play hockey and not basketball like so many of my family members. But anyway, neither here nor there. I met JoJo Pap, who comes on the stream a lot. Literally have stayed SPAC night 2, stayed with his family. There was an Airbnb, stayed with his sons and his girlfriend. Like Joe, I love JoJo. Shout out to, and he's probably watching this, but like we met in the pit line. Like I do not regret. Like my DMB enjoyment over the last couple of years would be different if I did not meet him. And so there is a power and a connection of the pit. Um, and if I get warehouse pits, I typically go. That's the times I've been in the pit. I got warehouse pits. That's 3 times. Yeah. And only once did I have a pair. The times I seem to have gotten it is when I had just put in for one. Anyway, so I understand the power and the connection of the pit and the joy last year being on the rail last year at Hartford was just probably one of the most special things I've had in my life. And I can't afford a front row seat, right? I love John Mayer, never been front row, right? I've been seeing Mayer longer, I've been a Mayer fan longer than a DMB fan, but I've never seen him like at the rail, the front row, because there's actual seats, and those seats are bajillion dollars. So to be able to see DMB pay whatever the face value was, it's special. Um, this type of stuff still does make me feel, and also I think since the pandemic, I also like just having space. I was able to obviously I got a very close number to the first number picked, and that's how I got rail. But like other than that, I'd be in the back, or I'd rather just have seats. So I there's a feeling now that I just like to have my space. Um, in this same community, like I said last week, I literally had no alcohol the entire day, SPAC night 2, and I had a Gatorade and I still almost passed out. And the people that stepped up, like I cannot say enough about the majority of the fans are great. It's just there's small things and we're all human and we're all flawed and we are like family. We all have family who we clash with and may not get along with. And so sometimes it's just to me, I just find it 9 times out of 10 don't even work. Like I would never be in, like I can't see myself being in the Alpine pit or the Deer Creek pit. I've put in for Hartford. I mean, SPAC obviously it's a smaller pit, but like I don't put in for every show to be in the pit. That's just me. But there are people that enjoy it and love it, and I hope that they are safe and well. We need to protect one another, especially my if there. I don't know about the story about the minor, but if there's minors in the pit, children under the age of 18, they should not be attacked or hurt. And there's been situations where people have been mad at kids in the pit, like kids who are like preteens or teenagers, and been mean or angry towards them. And that's not cool. So anyway, it was great to hear that clip from someone who was in the pit. That's how awesome this community. We do all this stuff, right? There's no like even the fact like I said, this community has been great. We don't have nug streams for DMB, but people have these videos up. Jordan Norris has Jones Beach and SPAC Night 1 and 2 already up. Copper Pop put up that ABI multicam. This community does a lot of stuff on its own, and the band, we have to credit them. They allow us this space. They could shut down a lot of different fan videos if they wanted to. So it's especially, and all the other thing too is like, I think I've said this when I was in the pit, Buddy like pointed at me twice, and Mohegan he did it, and then in Hartford. So he, obviously he saw, like, he literally like Jimmy, he's like, yeah, yo, I pointed at him, I was like that, and he did it back, and I was like that's a special moment to me, for a band member, Buddy, who I'm a huge fan of. I've there's no make no mistake about it. I've been a fan of him since day one, and been rooting for him since day one. So there's special moments in the pit. Greg Groton 27, who's on the chat right now, his 100th show, he was able to be very close, got a set list. Like, that's the type of stuff that we do this for. There's some priceless moments with this band, and listen, throughout all this, even all this drama, there's a lot more worse stuff, man. Fish fans, I've seen Fish fans laying on the ground in the pit like a baby, putting towels out in the pit and stuff. Like, it's wild what happens in other fan bases and other stuff. So, I mean, that's all I really could say on this. Safety is important. I don't want women or men to feel uncomfortable in this, in any space, especially in the pit where you're up close with people and there's no restrictive seats or blocking. There's nothing really separating anyone. So yeah, that was great to hear that. Let's see. Oh, live track 63. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But live track 63, I'm all the way through number 41. I've heard the full show through Copper Pot, but I will listen a little more through that show. But the lossless audio sounds great. Actually, here's what we'll do. I'm gonna play this video to close out. Let's see, concert. Because I do want to encourage people to I'm gonna put this this link in the chat too. There you go. Click on that. And today, because this is, I know some people are like, why would I buy lossless live tracks? And I don't know how to switch it over. But I'm gonna put this video in the chat. And this is, yes, it's the Alpine show, Heinz. Hopefully this helps somebody to learn how to convert it for iTunes or for use on a cell phone. Actually, this is a 9-minute vid. Nah, I'm scratch that. But I put the link in the chat to how to convert it. Well, maybe we'll go over more of that tomorrow. We'll close out with number 27. I think that's a song we can end on here. Guilford Night 2. All right. Thank you guys for supporting. 39 people still on. Thank you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's your boy Conservative 34. I'm out. Peace.
Something's happening in my brain.
heart of the moon. My head in the clouds, my head to the ground. In the arms of a woman, I found my way home. In the arms of a woman, my head been lost. When I'm so lost that this losing feels like dying. Hope you get by me then. When I'm so lost that this losing feels like dying. Hope you get by me then. As a young man, I was afraid of my life. What will I make? I will make love, but what will I hate? And what bittersweet road will I choose to the grave? And if I'm old till this soulness has me dying, hope you get by me then. If I'm old till this soulness has me dying, hope you get by me then. Sick of you, and I'm sick of me. I'm sick of war, like I'm sick of peace. I'm sick of sound, I'm sick of silence. I'm sick of the darkness, till I'm sick of the light. But I'm so sick that this sickness has me dying. I won't get by me. When I'm so sick that this sickness has me dying. I won't get by me. I won't get by me. Once as a boy, I saw what happened. I saw them beat him down to the cold, cold ground. I watched those big boys beat that man down. And I was too weak to make a sound. When I'm so weak that this weakness has been dying. Hope you get by me then. I'm so weak that this weakness has been dying. Hope you get by me then. Well, if I'm old and dying, hope you get by me then. So I will live as I see fit, and there will be those who will not like me. But in the arms of a woman, find my way home. So to the arms of a woman, I will always go. And if I'm old till this oldness has me dying, hope you be by me then. If I'm old till this oldness has me dying, hope you be by me then.